Hi, good morning. Happy Friday. I wanted to just hop on really quick while I was getting ready this morning and show you one of my favorite part of Saint, which is Demi. Demi is the color correcting system. So I wanted to just kind of show you how I color correct all of the discoloration around my eyes. And then of course I have quite a bit of redness on my nose. So in my Demi correcting color palette, I use multiple colors depending on how deep or dark the coloring is underneath my eye there. Looks kind of like that purpley blue color. So a purpley or a blue color, usually in O3 or in R03, works well for me. So if I take a little bit of R03, which is red orange 3, and I start by putting just a little bit here where I see, just where I see that darkest color. And with Demi, a little tiny bit goes a really long way. Okay, and then I kind of just assess where I need a little bit more. And then I also use O3, which is this middle color here, which is kind of a peachy color. And then I use the O3 in the areas that are not quite as deep color. What we would normally see as kind of that purpley color or blue color. I use the O3 in all of that area. So as you can see, compared to this here, I'm getting a little bit of that darker color. I'm going to use just a little bit more of the red orange 3 right here in the corner. And I take it up onto like the nose area there, on the side of the nose area, because I tend to be kind of dark right there. Okay. And when I use my Demi, I try not to use any of my highlight underneath right underneath my eye area. So as you can see, hopefully you can see the difference in the video between the eye that I've completed and the eye that I still need to work on a little bit. I've concealed my dark circles. I've somewhat concealed kind of where you can see that line where I have big bags under my eyes today. Another trick you can use for the bag under your eye is to take some of your main highlight color and just paint that main highlight very lightly right on that line. Right now my main highlight is either Candlelit or Amber. Today I'm using Candlelit. And then once you paint that right on your eye, I just take my finger and I just dab that in right along that bag line. And you want to just use just very little right along the bag line. And once you get it all blended in, now my bag line is a lot less visible than on the other side. So for redness, so a lot of people have redness. I have a lot of redness usually right here on my cheeks and then across my nose. Today my redness is pretty good. Couple different ways to cover redness that I have found effective. Demi NR +1. NR -1. So there's a Demi color NR-1, or the contour color Aspen is really good for redness, and Aspen is pretty similar to that NR Demi color. They're very close. If I have a flare-up and I'm dusting, say I have a bigger area to cover, I will use a little bit of Aspen with a fluffy brush like this, and just very lightly dust over the top of your redness. So today I'll use a little bit of Aspen because I don't really have a lot to cover today. So I just take that and dust a little bit over my redness. And oops, I'll also use some of that across my nose here. And again, you're just wanting to use little bits until you get the coverage that you want. You want the dusting to be very light. You can use Aspen to lightly dust over the top of your redness, and then go over the top and stipple in over the top with your main highlight if you want. And hopefully, my nose usually takes a little bit longer to be able to tell because when I mess with it, it gets really red. But usually here in a few minutes, once I've stopped messing around with it, when I'm done, you'll be able to tell that the redness is gone. Okay, so I've concealed that redness that was here. I've concealed the redness across the top of my nose. I get a little bit red right here, so I dust just a little bit of Aspen across this area. And then sometimes I'm red around down on my chin. And if I get really red, then I just dust a little bit of Aspen down across my chin. So we did this eye. I'm still gonna do this eye before I go to work today, but I just wanted to hop on and show you some of the Demi color correcting. I have done my makeup just with Demi. It gives a very pretty, just very natural. You can't even tell that you're wearing any makeup. When I've been playing around trying to figure out which colors go best where, for me, Demi does take a little bit to kind of play with and figure out which colors work best for you and your skin or whatever you're trying to use to camouflage, whatever you're trying to camouflage. Definitely this is one of the things that I fell in love with Saint For. I loved the Demi because my redness across my cheek and nose about 1.5 years ago when I started using Demi was so bad that I could not cover it any longer with liquid foundation. And so when Demi came along and I started playing with the different colors and figuring out what worked for my skin, I was just amazed, and I just thought I'll never ever live without Demi. Thanks for watching today.